Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap. I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vickers. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight, nigga.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. Use code Mase, Cam, or STAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash with your first deposit and a free pick. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mase and Cam, and today we are joined with our analyst Michael Irvin.
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
What's good, Murder? Mike, how are you today?
Chilling, man. Mike, what's up? You frozen again? Pause. How you doing? You know, we see your Ivy League fresh today. We're not sure if this is Mannequin Mike. We're not sure is this Ivy League school Mike. Which one should we call you? Which one do you prefer to be called? Ivy League Mike or Mannequin Mike?
Well, actually, guys, my wife, that's what she used to call me. I mean, everybody would say I dressed so well. I said, listen, I'm just a mannequin. I mean, you started this earlier when you said that I look like a mannequin. I said, no, the mannequins look like me. I got that mannequin perfect body. That's why I look so good in clothes. That's what that is.
Okay. Back to you, Stat.
Got your answer. Okay, well, glad to see everybody. Glad to know everybody's doing well. Let's get into our
Yo,
week
did
12.
you see Pause? Killer, he said he got the perfect body. Is that what he just did? I'm not sure, but back to you, Stat. You know.
I wasn't looking for the Wi-Fi messed up.
Oh, gosh.
Mike, you're wired. You're laced, Mike. I'm telling you, you're laced.
Okay, so let's get into our Week 12 NFL predictions. Kicking off, we got the Browns versus the Steelers. Mike, do you think that the 2-8 Browns have a chance to win versus the Steelers?
Absolutely not. Now, most places, I would call this a trap game. But Mike Tomlin reminds me so much of Jimmy Johnson. Those are the guys that always work making sure that you don't get caught in a trap game. They know these kinds of numbers. They know the stats in these kinds of games, and they always make you think about it all week long. So a trap game is when you're playing a team that's not up your caliber and you play down to that level and actually end up losing the game. I don't think that will happen. But I will say this now. I wanted to see Nick Chubb. Last week I saw Nick Chubb. He was starting to look a little bit better. He just kept coming back off that devastating knee injury. I think he had like 50-some yards last week. And the Steelers got to be a little bit careful there. Your boy Derrick Henry had, 124 last week. So that's about the only place I think they'll have to be concerned about. Jameis Winston will throw the ball all over the floor. If they can slow down and stop the run, then they'll be good.
Mike Irvin. No, mine.
Well, I personally believe that in this short week it could be really tricky because of this short week. But I'm gonna go ahead and just say I believe the Steelers are gonna win. I got my Steelers hat over there. I'll wear it just for this game. Just to join Killer and the rest of the team. But I think the pressure from the Steelers will be too much for Jameson Winston to not be who he normally is, which is turnover king. I look for this to be one of those days where you have 4 to 5 turnovers. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, 4 to 5 turnovers, and they win this as a close divisional game.
Okay, and Cam, how are we
White,
feeling?
White, you could do my take. I'm not taking on this. I'm not starting with the Steelers and the Browns. I refuse to even comment to start my show with this. White, gotta do my take. This is when we starting the show with White could take my take.
Sure, not a
Hey, White.
problem. Well, I honestly feel yes, Thursday. Thursday games are a little funny, but I just feel the Steelers. It always starts with defense. J.J. Watt, Micah Fitzpatrick. They will put Winston under pressure. This will be the first game Nick Chubb will be playing against the Steelers since he suffered that injury last season. So I'm pretty sure that'll probably be in the back of his mind. He would want to get his revenge on the Steelers, but I think the Steelers would be able to shut them down. And I think the offense of the Steelers would do enough, like we did last week against the Ravens, will do enough to win this ugly game on a Thursday night. I think Russell Wilson, Pickens, and the running game with Najee Harris and uh, Jalen Warren will definitely be able to run against the Browns and should be able to win this game.
And you got Jalen Warren has been really the guy that's really bust out and helped and doing real good in the running game. But both of you guys, great point. The Browns gave up like 9 sacks the last 2 weeks. So you know T.J. Watt and that crew will be hunting and getting to Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Mike, if you're gonna be mannequin Mike, you're gonna have to be in the center of the photo, Mike. You
Which way I
must
gotta
not be
go?
mannequin Mike.
Right or left?
It's to your
Which way I
left.
go, right or
Pause.
left?
Yes.
There you go.
If you're gonna be a mannequin, you gotta get in the shot. Pause. For real.
Right.
So you're not looking like sidekick Mike. You know.
I want this thing to look right.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll just add really quick. Obviously, y'all know where I stand with the Steelers, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's impossible for the Browns to win. The Steelers didn't score a touchdown versus the Ravens. We find a lot of odd ways to win, so it's like they can figure it out. They have a chance. I'm hoping they don't, but I just got to be realistic in the situation, so we'll see what happens for this game later today.
With this being a trap game, though, do you guys see? I mean, Mike mentioned a trap game. Do you see Russell Wilson playing into this trap?
I don't think so. I think that he'll perform well. I'm hoping he doesn't play into the trap, but I mean, anything can happen in this situation on any given Thursday, but Sundays as well. So we'll see.
Mike, do you think he'll play into the trap?
And especially with Justin Fields getting into the game just a little bit, even though he slid a little too early the other day. What's that? What did I miss? What?
Mike, are you on a Boost Mobile? Stat, move us along, Stat.
Yeah, things happen. Internet. So we're gonna move along to the Eagles versus the Rams. The Eagles are 8-2 and first in the NFC East. Who do you think wins this game? Mase.
Now my Wi-Fi is glitching.
Are they playing the Rams?
So we're talking about the Eagles and the Rams.
Yes.
I mean, when it comes down to the Rams and the Eagles, I'm going to have to go with the Eagles. I just believe that Saquon Barkley will do his thing. I believe that in my notes, I have down that Jalen Hurts. When you think about Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, these are all nightmares for the Rams. All of these players, even if you add in Barkley with that list, all you're looking at is a bunch of things that they do that the Rams do not like to defend. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the perfect recipe for a breakout game for all three. I look forward to all three of them having a good game. You know, sometimes Saquon Barkley is carrying them. Then another time you'll see Jalen Hurts do his thing. But in this game, I'm looking for all three of them to play well against the Rams.
Okay, and Cam, Eagles versus Rams. Who do you think wins this game?
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles as well. The Rams really couldn't get it together all season so far. And a lot of the Rams' success is based on what's that? They wide receiver Cooper. He been
Cooper
hurt.
Kupp.
I can't think of
Yeah.
the nigga full name. Yeah, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Rush been throwing me off. That nigga from Dallas been making me forget the nigga Cooper Kupp's name. But Cooper Kupp is that detrimental to the Rams' success. and he's just getting back. And I don't think that they're in rhythm. I think Philly is really in rhythm how they were a couple years ago, and I really wanted the Commanders to win the division, the NFC East, but it's looking like Philly's going to run away with it. I'm looking at Philly having a great end of the regular season, and I'm picking Philly to win this game.
Okay, and then Cam, now that you bring that up, I do have a follow-up question for both of you. So obviously in the NFC East, the Eagles are on top and the Commanders are second. Cam, even though you do like the Commanders, are you surprised that the Eagles are ahead of them, or does it kind of make sense to you?
It makes total sense that the Eagles should be ahead of the Commanders. But nobody thought the Commanders were coming in this season to have the season that they're having so far. They passed expectations. A rookie quarterback. They fired their head coach from last year. It's a new personnel. Um, but when you have people who know how to win, put things together, that's what happens. You have Magic Johnson there. And like I said, a lot of people don't know that Bob Myers is there also. Bob Myers is the genius behind getting Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, Kevin Durant for that Golden State dynasty after Steph Curry was already there. And winners know how to win. Same thing with Magic Johnson. I was looking at a stat with Magic Johnson probably right after the Super Bowl. I think he has 15 rings professionally. I'm talking about as a champion in pro sports, whether it's 5 playing, it's 5 as an executive with the Lakers. It's now he has a World Series under his belt. He has a championship with the WNBA. Winners know how to win. So it's surprising that the season the Commanders have, but people aren't paying what's going on in the front office, and not just the front office, the consultant they have, because Bob Myers is just there as a consultant. But as far as the Eagles, this is where the Eagles were supposed to be. This is where they were at a couple years ago. The Eagles aren't far removed from winning the Super Bowl. So it's not shocking. It's more shocking of the season they had last year. This is where they're supposed to be, actually.
Okay, and Mase?
Cam, then he have 16 because he won one of the first earlier ones with me. But that's another conversation.
Okay. You want-
You know, all them niggas always throw himself in the pause in there.
You want me to feed in and ask you, well, what? I'm not even going to do it. You want me to feed into it and pause and say, what did you win the championship with Magic? I'm not, if you want to say it again, I'm not feeding into it and asking, when did you win the championship? I already know that's what you want me to. Go ahead, Mase.
I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. I'm going to stick with this show. I'm going to stick with this show.
When did you win the championship with
I'm
Magic
just going to
Johnson?
stick with the
When was
show,
this?
Cam. I'm not going to divert the whole show because of me.
You diverted it. No, I want to know, when did you and Magic win the championship? When did y'all win the championship?
We don't have enough time. We don't have enough.
Okay. Right.
We don't have enough time.
Yo, White, you know about this, White? White, you know about this championship?
What? I mean,
No, I didn't know about. Oh, well.
What is happening?
he said white.
Nigga called white bread Dwight. Nigga called you Dwight White.
Oh, God.
Nigga said Dwight. Dwight bread.
I have no idea what championship this is. Gotta.
Nah, but we're talking about the Commanders. I really believe that that started out as something that could have been experimental. Now, in the eyes of Jaden, he believes that he belongs here. It's one thing when you first start and you start playing and you're like, oh, we're off to a season we didn't see ourselves having. I think amongst them, they saw themselves having this season, and we on the outside did not see them having that season. And now they're starting to believe we really belong here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they begin to win even at a better rate than before, now that they took a couple of losses and got the feel of what it feels like to be on the opposite end of a team playing great. I look forward to the Commanders playing well in the postseason, and I look forward to them like being a surprise team to win one or two games in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay, and Mike, glad to see you're unmannequin. The question was, in the NFC East, are you surprised that the Eagles are above the Commanders right now?
No, not right now. No, because the Eagles got back to what they were doing the year they went to the Super Bowl, and that's making the run thing the main thing. After they went to the Super Bowl, Cam got paid, and I thought they were trying to turn him into a passing quarterback, and then he got hurt. He couldn't run, and he was forced to do some more passing. But once they got back to the run game, I'm not surprised. The surprise is the playing of the Commanders, that they are that close so fast. But I'm not surprised with the Eagles.
Okay, moving on to the next game. The 49ers will play the Packers. 49ers George Kittle vows he will play this Sunday after missing the last game due to a hamstring injury. Mike, how do you see this game going? Do you think the 49ers will come off top or will they fall?
Well, I'm taking the 49ers in this win. This is a must win for the 49ers. As a matter of fact, I think they have to go into every game henceforward with a must-win mentality. This here, because if you look at their schedule coming after this game, that's a murderous row. So they have to start right now if they have any chance. When you start hearing people like George Kittle say, "I'm playing no matter what," that means they feel a sense of urgency in that locker room, and they know right now they got to step up and make some plays. Even though they're 5-5 right now, all the teams are within a game and a half in that division. The problem for the 49ers are they're 1-3 in the division. They got the worst record in the division. So right now they're in fourth place. But I believe they can come out of it as they get healthy.
Yeah, I hate to disagree so much with you, Mike, but I think the Packers, they'll just be offensively just too much for the 49ers, especially the 49ers are pretty banged up. They got McCaffrey, who will need more help. You're talking about, what if Nick Bosa doesn't play? There's too many question marks surrounding this team. And to think if his hip is hurting and he has an injured hip, an oblique, you definitely don't want to chance that at this moment. So if you take Nick Bosa out of that lineup, and then you got McCaffrey playing by himself, I don't think McCaffrey alone will be enough, even when you speak of Kittles, to be able to beat the Packers at this point. You got Jordan Love, and also when you're looking at just the way they'll move the ball downfield, it'll be too much for the 49ers.
Okay, and Cam?
This is a good game. I'm not sure who to agree with on both. Both you guys made some great points. You asking me, I'm looking at the standings. In the division, Green Bay is one game away from second place in NFC North, and then everybody's 5-5 in that division outside of Arizona, and then they're one game outside of Arizona in the NFC West. Who needs this victory more? The 49ers need the victory more. But Mase made some great points. They're pretty banged up. And if people like Kittles are saying, and I love Kittles are saying, I'm definitely going to play, that means that you're not 100%, but you're going to force yourself. I like the tenacity, but we're not going to get 100% Kittles. I'm going to go with Green Bay in this game, but I think that this game is more urgent for the 49ers.
Okay. And then the 9-1 Lions will play the Colts. We've seen the Colts made their decision on their QB1. Is this enough for them to beat the Lions, Mike, or are the Lions looking unstoppable?
Oh my goodness. Mannequin Mike, somebody put Mike in detention. Do you see the way he's looking on camera? Like somebody put him in the corner. I'm going to have to take over from here. When it comes to the Lions, I think the Lions are on fire. I know I said a lot of things about the Lions. I'm trying to slowly begin to wear a little bit of gray, a little bit of blue, just to shout out the Lions. I think they're by far the best team in the NFC. I'm going to go as far as saying they're the best team in the NFC. I look forward to still what they're going to do in the playoffs, but for right now, I'm slowly starting to be impressed by them, especially the way they beat Jacksonville. When you beat a team like that, I thought Jacksonville stole something. I thought they caught Jacksonville with their hand in somebody's pocket. You get beat 52-6. I mean, you pretty much don't even belong out there. And like Papa Stat said, they made Jacksonville go get
Stephen
their
A.
own
Smith book.
switch. That's what it looked like. Go get your switch, And Papa Stat, shout out to you. This was one of those games, and I pray for the day that the Pittsburgh Steelers could play as good as the Lions did that game.
Okay, Cam.
Yeah, May says that the Lions are the best team in the NFC. Duh. Like, it's the best record, bro. It took you 10 weeks to figure it out. Congratulations. Which my man OJ say, you have a grasp for the obvious.
Hey, Killer, this is the no-fly zone. We're back.
Nah, look, the Lions, they didn't even play their starters towards the end of the game. They're looking really good. But it's a few teams in the NFC. And I agree with Mace. They're the best team in the NFC. And I was giving them a lot of props earlier because they went to the playoffs last year. That you're right, Mace was right in the beginning of the season. A lot is gonna be determined on what they do in the playoffs. And they made some bad decisions coaching wise in their playoff games last year, which sent them home early. But we don't get this from the Lions. The Lions have really been bad over the last, I don't know how many years, decades actually, in the regular season. So for the fans in Detroit, I know this is great for these guys. As far as them being the best team in NFC, I agree with Mace. But the way Philly is playing, they might have some competition down the line. And then if the 49ers ever get it together, we'll see what happens. Everybody got 7 games left. We'll see what happens in these last 7 games. But I'm definitely going with the Lions.
All right, so we're going to move along to the Vikings versus the Bears. The Vikings are 8-2, but it still seems like they get overlooked. We've talked about their season a couple times. Mase, do you feel like the Vikings are legit?
I think they're right at that point where you start taking them serious. I'm not ready to put my expertise on the Vikings. I would say that they are looking pretty impressive. They are playing good football. And they're doing better than I thought they would. But again, I'm not ready to put my expertise on the Vikings because when I say something, I like to be sure. I think they pretty much will win this game against the Bears, but I'm not ready to say they're that serious just yet. What about you, Killer?
No, I like that take. I'm not invested in the Vikings as well. And I'm definitely picking them over the Bears. But I think that the Vikings are being overlooked, if you ask my opinion. It's just that they're in the division the Vikings are being overlooked, but they're in the same division as the Lions. So when you're looking at the Lions in that division, you're like, nobody's fucking with the Lions. But to be honest, the Vikings are only 1 game behind the Lions. The Vikings are 8-2. That's the same record we're talking about Philly. Like I said, 1 game behind the Lions. And we're talking about San Francisco. And I know it's not the same division, even making a push for the playoffs at 5-5. We can't overlook 8-2 and act like it's no big deal. The Vikings are somebody that we need to start paying attention to. But I agree with Mace. I haven't been invested in them to pay attention to them because traditionally over the last few years, I'm not a big Sam Darnold fan. We know that Justin Jefferson is elite, one of the best receivers in the game. But it always seems like the Vikings let us down as soon as they're about to do something great. And even though it's 8-2, I haven't been invested into their season, and I apologize to you people in Minneapolis. But maybe we'll start paying attention that we're getting closer to the playoffs.
That's great takes. And it's funny because that seems to happen a lot with teams, and especially the next season, then we see kind of like the upgrade. So maybe they are a team that needs to be a little bit more on our radar, even though they do have a good record already. But now it's time to talk about the Jets. It's like new information pops up about them every single day. So it was reported earlier in the year after the Jets fell to 2-2. New York Jets owner Woody Johnson called an internal meeting and had the idea of benching Aaron Rodgers back on September 30th. So it's a two-part question, Mase. One, do you feel like the Jets are the biggest disappointment in football right now? And then does hearing that, the potential of Aaron Rodgers being benched back in September 30th change anything for you?
Absolutely not. I think when this call goes out in September that they're speaking of benching Aaron Rodgers, they didn't go through with it. So then to me, it's all cap. It's really all cap. So it doesn't change anything for me. But when you talk about being the biggest disappointment, if they're not tied, they're right there. Because when you take this Jets team and you think of them last year and you think of the defense they had and how they were pretty much playing 500 football, even without Aaron Rodgers, one would think if you add a Hall of Fame quarterback to that kind of defense, and then you got the different players that he could have thrown the ball to, and then he goes as far as getting his old guy back, and on the offensive line, this is just, it's a travesty just watching this, because everything points to the Jets going to the playoffs and doing well. The moment they got Aaron Rodgers, the whole city of New York was excited. I got childhood friends that just swore the Jets was ready to be one of those contenders. I pray for Tito wherever he is right now. Tito, if you're watching this, we're praying for you. And we need to do a security check on Tito right now, wherever Tito is, because I know this is his Jet team. A lot of guys on 8th Avenue, we're still praying for you guys. We're sending flowers. We send our condolences. And it's time to just get Aaron Rodgers out of there. I would just say that.
Okay, Cam.
As far as the Jets owner saying he was going to bench Aaron Rodgers, that's a fucking lie. You're not going to bench Aaron Rodgers in September, nigga. It was fucking September. If they could have been 0-4, you wouldn't have benched Aaron Rodgers. You didn't bring him there to bench him. Now this shit is collapsing. You talking about you're going to bench him. The coach is going now. The GM is going. The people who bought Aaron Rodgers there. Now you're talking about you was going to bench Aaron Rodgers. Cut it the fuck out. You was not going to bench Aaron Rodgers. That's first and foremost. As far as them saying that they're the best team, the biggest disappointment, pardon me, probably so. Probably so, because after last year when he got hurt, everybody was like, okay, he's cool. He's healing quick, yada, yada, yada. And so we were really expecting Aaron Rodgers to do good this year. Once the coach the coach wasn't involved and the coach left, everybody like, oh, he got Devontae Adams back. Oh, da-da-da-da. It's going to be great. That has not worked out. So possibly this may be the biggest disappointment in the NFL this season. That was a great question, Stat. I have to assess all the disappointments going on, but that's definitely at the top of the list.
Who else would you think was a disappointment this year? I know there's other teams, but who do you have in the runnings with them?
I'm saying right now, San Francisco is a big disappointment at 5-5. We wouldn't expect San Francisco to be 5-5 right now. Hold on, let me look and answer that question, because that's a great question. A lot of teams that we were expecting to do well are doing well. For me personally, the Bengals are a big disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off with the Bengals. Like the Bengals is, and the thing about it is, Joe Burrow's number 2 in QBR. They're just wasting his season. The Bengals defense is literally wasting their season. Another team is the Browns. We don't know if they were going to be great, but we didn't think they were going to be this bad. So they're another disappointment. I didn't think that the Browns would be this bad. That's just a few. Patriots, we already knew what it was going to be. North Carolina, we knew it was going to be. But I think it's more surprises than disappointments. That's my personal opinion.
When I think of who's the most disappointing team, I would have to say the 49ers are right there. I would also have to say the Bengals are right there, because just last year, the 49ers are in the championship. Now it looked like they could get below 500 football. And I know they're banged up and pause, things like that, but you just expect more out of a team that have that kind of cachet. And then when you talk about the Bengals, I knew from the moment that Chase did not get that money that this was going to be a bad season for the Bengals. I was looking forward to them having a healthy Joe Burrows and see what he can do. And he's been performing, pause. But when you got star players that's not getting paid, it's going to be hard to have continuity. It's going to be hard to have, just camaraderie and everybody feel like they're a family because we know somebody in this family is not getting taken care of. That's just how things go. So I think those teams are right up there, and I want to throw Miami in there.
Yeah.
I want to throw Miami in there. I know that's not a team that everybody have thought of, but other than Tua getting hurt, I really expected all of the other players to perform a little bit better on this team.
Yeah. I definitely want to add to that. Too.
Yeah, and another thing that was disappointing to me was when for Miami was when they arrested Tyreek Hill. I was looking forward to him outrunning the cops. I was really looking forward to that. See if the cheetah thing is for real.
Chiming in on what Mase said about the Bengals, Jamar Chase is actually balling the fuck out too. He didn't get his money. In the first week or two, he looked like he was piling, but he's been balling the fuck out, and so did Joe Burrow. It's the fucking defense on Cincinnati that's letting the offense down. So,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. But Jamar Chase is going to get a big-ass check next year, whether it's from the Bengals or for somebody else. They should have paid that nigga. And as far as the 49ers are concerned, yeah, they're looking really disappointment. But that division they're in, they're only one game back at 500. So that's their look. And then, like I said that previously that they're looking disappointment. But if the 49ers happen to go on a 3-game winning streak or 4, then they're leading the division again. They'll be like, oh, 49ers are looking good again. Like they're really in this division that they're in is anybody could take it. And if I have to bet on anybody right now, you got the Los Angeles Rams 5-5, Seattle 5-5, San Francisco 5-5, and Arizona 6-4. If I had to bet on somebody just today, I'm talking about to win that division, I'm still going to go with the 49ers, and Mase has a great point with Miami as well.
Yeah. All great points. I was just going to add a little bit to Miami because when we look last year, they were 11-6 at the top with the Bills in the AFC East. Right now, they are 4-6, and I know that we've seen a lot of injuries and things happen in between, but this has been kind of happening in the NFL and the NBA. There's been a lot of injuries that's been not allowing a lot of players that you would like to see play. So it's been a real weird sports season, but hoping that everybody can continue to strive for better because, we want to see good games. With that being said, we are going to go to break. When we return, we will discuss early NFL MVP candidates. Don't go anywhere.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it, wanna be free.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. Of course, it's Thursday Night Football. Today, the Steelers are playing the Browns. Underdog has Jameis Winston at 34.5 passing attempts. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Who did you say?
Jameis Winston.
There's something wrong with the sound in here. Jameson Winston, how many?
34.5 passing attempts.
I'm going to go higher.
Okay, Cam.
Lower.
Okay, Russell Wilson is at 198.5 passing and rushing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Higher.
Yeah, higher.
Okay, and Najee Harris is at 66.5 rushing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
I'm going to go higher.
Cam?
Higher.
If you guys like these picks, remember you always get a free pick if you're not already on Underdog. So make sure to support the show. Sign up now, and you can make your picks too. So basically, from what we've seen this season, Mase, let you go first. Who is your top early NFL MVP candidate right now? in a lot of articles in the rankings, they're not official, but Lamar Jackson is at the top. Would that be your pick
That's
too?
who I was.
Or-
That's who I was gonna say.
Okay.
I was gonna say Lamar Jackson. Who else is playing really well? I actually even think Joe Burrows is playing very well. If it wasn't for the losses, then you got hat trick Mahomes. Then you got Josh Allen. Those will be my top four, and then for surprise of the year, it'll be Jaden
Daniels.
Daniels. Yeah.
Okay. Cam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I had Lamar Jackson until last Sunday when Josh Allen put on that performance against Kansas City. He's leading to me for MVP this season. That last play of the game, or not the last play, their last possession for Buffalo on a 4th and 2 when he ran for 26 yards and a touchdown. To me, that put him back in first place in my book over Lamar Jackson for MVP. Not only that, they also handed Kansas City their first loss of the season. He's playing exceptionally well. People didn't know what his season would be like without Diggs on the team. He's playing great. So right now, Josh Allen is definitely my MVP thus far.
Okay, and then talking about being handed their first loss, the Cavs. They officially lost their winning streak after losing to the Celtics 120-117 in the NBA Cup. Mase, how did you feel about this being the loss for them?
I have mixed emotions about the Cavs losing this win streak. I really was really hoping they get to like 22-0, because there's something about if they would have got out there a fourth of the season undefeated, then it plays into the psyche of what they think they can do. When you get to 15, it's a great start, but then you could catch another 2 losses, and then all of a sudden it seemed like just a regular season. You know what I mean? And for the Cavs, I think in order for them to have a phenomenal year, they would have to go on this kind of run and keep this kind of run going, because the East is loaded. The East is loaded with teams that could possibly beat them in the playoffs. So you need as much pause of a cushion as you can, so when it comes around to playoff time, they could really be in a great place, because I think home court advantage makes all the difference when it comes to the playoffs.
I think the Cavs are doing great. I don't know a lot of teams ever that went on a 15-0 run. Not just a 15-0 run, a 15-game winning streak. Like 15-game winning streaks don't be coming around every day. I think Golden State, I seen do it. I think I seen the Chicago Bulls do it in the 90s. Like, I don't know, be seeing teams go on 15-game winning streaks. But Mace is correct about the playoffs, because if I'm not saying that the Cavs have to go on 15-game winning streaks, which was exceptional, but they do have to keep a cushion. He's right, but I think that the Cavs are in rhythm. I think that they like being under the radar. I think that we wouldn't be paying a lot of attention to the Cavs if they didn't go on this streak, because we were so worried about what Philly was going to do. Maxey is not playing. Joel Embiid ain't playing backs-to-backs. I don't know when the last time Paul George played. Oh, well, it doesn't look like Philly's going to have a great season. We were talking about Milwaukee. They can't seem to get it together. You got this Damian Lillard Greek freak shit is not working out. What's the nigga name? Chris Middleton. He's fucking up. He haven't been healthy since they won a championship. He's always hurt. Doc Rivers, they shoveled his ass paws in there in the middle of the season last year. I don't even know how he got the job, but he got the job. It's just a mess of Milwaukee. The Knicks are looking average. They're okay. I think that Orlando would have been making some noise if Banchero didn't get hurt. But as far as Cleveland, I think that Cleveland is actually, to me, right now, the second best team in the East. I mean, they're in first place, but I'm talking about, of course, we're going to talk about the Celtics. But the Knicks, they had that last-minute trade to where they're saying, oh, we're not sure we should have got rid of DiVincenzo or Randall. And it's looking decent with Karl Anthony Towns, and maybe they'll find some rhythm as the season goes on. But the Cavaliers, I like the Cavaliers right now, and I'm going to have them second best in the East, even though they're first in the NBA. Boston is the best team in the East. But all these teams that we're expecting to do good in the East, they look like shit. They look terrible. Everybody.
And then to Cam's point, Mase, would the Celtics be at the top for you in the East? Best team.
Right now, pretty much the Celtics are at the top. But I don't want the Celtics to win. I mean, I don't like the league when the Celtics is winning. Even though, it's the Boston Celtics, I'm a lifelong Laker fan, Previously to LeBron getting there, I was a lifelong Laker fan. But, when it comes to Boston, I really hate Boston, I like Jaylen Brown going there because he was from Marietta, but I grew up hating Boston. Just everything about it. Larry Bird, the sneakers, black and white. I'm a colorful guy,
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I hate the Lake. I mean, I hate the Celtics.
Okay, I have a question. If you hate the Celtics, wouldn't they be considered Titletown right now?
Titletown is on the move, I can't always say that. Just let me give an explanation of Titletown. Just because you get one. See, and I wanted to say this when Cam brought Jason Tatum on here. Tatum, if you're watching this, one title doesn't make you Titletown. That means you stayed over for a night. You pause. You're not from Titletown. You visited Titletown. You need at least 2 championships to be from Titletown. You can't just do it once and now you're from Titletown. So you stand corrected, all right? So I know you and Cam, y'all was having a good time. I was letting y'all rock out. But pause, when you talk about Titletown, you need more than one, man. We talking the Lakers. We talking Magic Johnson, who had 3 chips and then another 2 and then Kobe Bryant. The guys who went before you, they got rings with a lisp, rings. Not one ring. One ring just mean, somebody can let you hold a ring. Like AB came up here and let me see his ring. I could have one ring. You need more than one to be from Titletown, man. Thank you, staff, for bringing that up. So I can add that clarity. Because sometimes people, he got a championship. We're not talking about champions. We're talking about legacy, brother. We're talking about people who win over and over, like Cam was saying when he said Magic Johnson, he won over here as a player. He won as an executive. Now, if you go and get St. Louis a championship with the WNBA, then you're in Titletown.
Nobody has more championships than the Boston Celtics, so I don't know what Mase is talking about. They have the most championships in the NBA.
I was talking about Tatum. You gonna steal my light?
I'm talking about the state. It's no light. You just don't know what you're talking about. He plays for a franchise that has the most championships in the NBA. How you gonna say that's not Titletown?
No, I said he's not from Titletown. You heard me wrong. I said he's not from Titletown. We know Boston got. Boston is definitely.
You said you hate. I heard you say you saw hate.
Yeah, Boston, I hate. That's why I hate Boston. I hate Boston.
Yeah, they have the most titles in the NBA, more than the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm hating on them.
That's the epitome of Titletown. There's no bigger Titletown than Boston in the whole NBA. Whether you hate Tatum or he only got one or don't.
I don't hate Tatum. Killer, you mixing up what I'm saying. I hate Boston. And Tatum is not from Titletown. He visited Titletown. He have one. He got to get more than one. He can't live off what Larry Bird did. He's not Larry Bird.
I hear what you're saying. They won the championship last year. I'm not a Boston fan, but I'm not going to take away niggas' championships because they told you you're not from Titletown. He actually is the championship. Sorry, Murder.
Okay.
And Jaylen Brown, too, actually said it, too. The guy that you said called Batman, he said it, too. I'm sorry, man. I know it hurts a little bit, but it's okay, man.
Killer, women do this all the time. Nigga, this switch up is real.
I don't know what women do to you because you married, so I don't really know what women be doing. I used to know what women do. I have no idea what women do. You gotta let me know. What do women do to you?
I said women do this all the time. I said women do this all the time. You keep swaying my words, Killer. I
I'm
understand.
asking you. You compare what I'm saying to what women do to you.
No, I'm
That's what you said.
comparing what they did. I'm comparing. See, it's something going on because you're in that ESPN atmosphere, so it's a glitch. But you'll be back. We'll welcome you back. We'll welcome you back.
What are you saying? I want to know what you saying. What I said, women do to you to what I said. I want to know what you
No, it
talking about.
wasn't you. You took what I said to Tatum and Brown as to you. I
Oh,
wasn't talking to you. I said the
oh,
same thing before when you said they
oh,
said
my
this,
bad.
and I just repeated the same
Well,
statement.
what you meant what women be doing to you? What are you talking about with that?
They get up and they think they could talk crazy to niggas who are like that.
Uh, who? You talking about
Tatum
Tatum
and
and them?
Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They be talking crazy. Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what you're talking about.
I'll just add real quick. Y'all know I'm a Heat fan, so y'all sure already know how I feel about the Celtics. But
How do you feel
How
about
many-
the Celtics?
how many trials and tribulations does Jason Tatum have to go through to prove his legitimacy? Like, yes, he got his ring. He's 26. Like, he's 5-time NBA All-Star. Like, he's been proving himself day after day. Like, yes, it's go Heat, but it's like, dang, to be like, he's not really from Titletown. Like, I would feel some type of way, and this is why people feel some type of way. He said he fucks with you, like, loves your music, everything that you're doing, loves the show. He just got his ring. Like, he was on Team USA. Like, he wants to do good for his community in St. Louis, make a WNBA team. And now all of a sudden, like, he's not the real Titletown, knowing that he's part of a franchise that has a long history. I'd be like, dang. What else has he got to do to prove?
That's a generational understanding. Just because you do one thing well doesn't change definition. Like, it doesn't change definition. Did he win the goal? Yes, he wasn't playing while he was winning the goal. Actually, he wasn't even in the game when they won the goal. So I'm not here to put 20 on 10. I'm here to call it exactly what it is. In order for you to be that guy, you got to win more than one. You do have to win more than one to be considered the person that you're trying to be. The issue that I have is that when we're conversing like he's up here, and then it's almost like you want to. I'll get the words because I don't want my words to be taken out of context, and I feel like today my words are being taken out of context. I'll wait till I got the right.
Let me ask you this, Murder. So Paul, I'm just asking because you have to have more than one. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. Well, Ray Allen won with the Heat. So you don't consider Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett Titletown either?
No. Not to my standard. I have a different standard. And I know people can disagree with that. When I think of Titletown, I think of Tim Duncan. When I think of Titletown, I think of Isaiah Thomas. When I think of Titletown, I think of Stephen Curry. When I think of Titletown, I think of Magic Johnson, James Worthy. I think of Larry Bird. I think of Kevin McHale. I think of Dennis Rodman. I think of all of these players who consistently enforce their will on the league, not just on one player, on the league. LeBron James is a part of Titletown. Who else is a part of Titletown? Greek Freak is not a part of Titletown to me. Just because you do something once doesn't mean it's that special to me. My standards just happen to be a little bit higher. I grew up in a time of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. I don't come from Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I come from the highest of the highest. So my idea of everything is a little bit higher. And sometimes that's Achilles heels for me because I'm thinking higher than people that I'm talking to. That's just what it is. I can't apologize for that.
You should never apologize. That's fire. Because that's a life that I hate.
Yeah. I didn't get Chris Brown. Pause. I grew up with Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So I saw something different. I understand what they're watching. I understand what they're looking at is great, but I know there's greater. And I can't act like or unsee what I saw. In the great words of Cameron Giles.
It's a good take. I was just wondering. This action, that's a great answer. I like that.
Fire. That's why I hush and listen. So, quick follow-up. Just got to ask. So, if the Celtics do win again.
Yeah, then he's in Titletown. Okay. Then he's 100% in Titletown. And I stand check. And I stand, hey, welcome. Then I can reach my hand out and say, welcome to Titletown.
There you have it. Talk your shit.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum.
This ain't one album. This ain't one album. You know what I'm saying? Look, that's Cameron Job. That's the Mighty Dipset. That's not one mixtape. You don't get to do it one pause time and then think you're in a conversation with people who have done it over and over and over again. Nah.
There you have it, y'all. I stand corrected. I got nothing else to say. Mase has spoken. Okay, so got to talk about some new news. So basically, after the Tyson versus Paul fight, it's like everybody wants to be part of the conversation. One of those people, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard actually went and challenged Shaq to a boxing match. Shaq responded and said, "Gotta have more than one ring to get in the ring with me. I'll stick with the real champion like Rob Gronkowski, and you can have the Superman belt all yours, buddy." Mase, gotta bring it back to you. What do you think of that response? And is that something you'd want to
That's
see?
exactly what I'm talking about. He's actually saying, I'm not even going to fight you because you haven't won enough. I would be, what did Michael Irvin call it? A trap game.
Yeah.
It's a trap game when people who haven't achieved what you achieved try to put their name with yours by creating beef with you. We see it on the internet all the time. This is not comparable. And you see people who haven't done the work take the lowest form of resistance to get to the highest level by just attaching their name with yours, by putting themselves in some kind of confrontation with you so their name can be mentioned with yours, because their accolades, their work, and their achievements won't put them with you. So when you think of Dwight Howard, he's saying this to Shaq. This is exactly what Shaq is saying. And just for the record, I do fool with Tatum. I do fool with Jaylen Brown. I think you guys are exceptionally well when it comes to basketball. I'm just stating my standards of Titletown, and I stand on the same principle when it comes to Dwight and Shaq. He shouldn't even be talking to him.
You sure don't have to double back. Just say what you said. Them niggas ain't in Titletown. They ain't in Titletown.
Yep.
Don't double back. You don't fuck with them. You don't fuck with them. Get back to them when they come there. They my niggas though.
No, it's
Dwight
that
Howard,
it's
you
not. I
reaching.
don't mess with them. They're not in Titletown.
Nah, you said. We heard you. We heard you. We heard you loud and clear. You don't have to come back and say you fool with them. You don't fool with them.
No, I didn't
We
say
heard
I
you.
fool. I didn't say I fool with them. I said they're good talent. I know. I want to be clear. And I don't need any
Why
AU
you
money from
doubling
them.
back?
I don't
We
need
heard you.
anything from them. I never will need anything from them. I'm not a man that live off friendships. I live off my own standards and my own merits. But I want to be clear. I don't have nothing against them. They're not in Titletown, and they won't be in Titletown until they win another championship, and that's never gonna change for me. They couldn't give me tickets nowhere. They don't have to call
We
me.
heard you the
They don't
first
have
time, though.
to
Why you
text
still
me
going on about it?
because I want to be clear.
We heard you.
I want to be clear. They don't have to
But just like
text me. They
19
don't have
minutes of
to
this.
call me. They don't have to be
You ain't like
friends
that
with me.
video they sent
They
you.
gotta
huh?
win a
They ain't like that.
championship.
They did.
Okay.
We understand. We heard you the first 10 minutes of your
Okay.
version of Titletown. Then we talk about Shaq and Dwight, and you double back to Jaylen Brown and Tatum. So I was just trying to make sure I tell you, fuck them niggas if you don't fuck with them niggas. That's how you feel.
But it's not
That's
that I
not how I
don't
feel.
It's not that I don't mess with them. I just have a different way of thinking. I don't
We
want.
heard you.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm saying.
I don't want something dragged into a space that it's not supposed to be dragged into. It's really just you're not in Titletown. It's not about if I mess with you or not. It's just you're not in Titletown.
Okay. Shaq and Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's reaching. I think he's reaching. Shaq did the right thing, but Dwight Howard been reaching for a while. I feel bad for Dwight Howard because I feel he had a couple years left in the NBA, and they did him dirty, had him go to China, try to come back, couldn't play here. I think Dwight Howard would be really good on certain teams today, but he doesn't get the chance. Now he's reaching. Even Andre Ward, I seen Andre Ward wanting to fight Jake Paul. I bet you, I was talking to Sin, I bet you Jake Paul DMs pause is crazy with wild boxes trying to get down with him because they see that how much money them niggas is making. They making wild bread. So now, nigga, I bet you, I didn't want to say niggas' names on the show, but me and Sim was talking about the fighters that's probably in his DMs talking about we could do business. After seeing that many people watch the fight, I didn't realize it was only 60 million people in America. It was like another 70 million people outside of America. And they was talking about it yesterday when I was watching First Take. Shout out to my nigga Stephen A. and Ken Perks and all them niggas that was up there talking about it. But it's crazy that over 100 million tuned in for that. And I bet you a lot of fighters are reaching out to Jake Paul, and a lot of fighters want to do what's going on, but you're not going to get that. Mike Tyson brings a lot to the table. Jake Paul brings a lot to the table. And just because you think you can beat Jake Paul, I wouldn't do it either, Jake Paul. Jake Paul, pick the best person that's going to get you the money. They'll be like, oh, you didn't fight a real boxer. You didn't do this. He's making more money. It's about making the money. I'm pretty sure y'all niggas don't want to get punched in your face for a living. Who wants to get punched in their face for a living? It's about getting the most money. Why are you getting punched in your face for a living? And he kind of figured it out. Shout out to Jake Paul. But as far as Dwight Howard, you reaching.
Okay, and then real quick, because you did bring up Andre Ward, he said, I'm open for a discussion about fighting Jake, and since you like fighting older guys, I'm an older guy now, and I haven't touched the ring in 7 years, so I think it will be interesting. Is that something that you guys would have any interest in seeing, or you feel like Jake Paul just got to go completely left field and fight different people?
I think on the campaign that Jake Paul is on right now, I think the next fight is going to be even bigger than his last fight. I think he does need to start fighting more people on the boxing circuit. Because what I take from it, not that this is his goal, but it seems as if he wants to be respected in the space. In order to be respected in the space of boxing, I think that was part of the reason why he picked Mike Tyson, not just because he would make a lot of money from him, but this is a boxing name.
If I'm Jake Paul, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm winning doing what I'm doing. And I do think if he wants to be considered as a boxer, you're going to have to fight some real people. But for what? Like, yo, I'm killing niggas doing this. And if I fight anybody, it's not going to be nobody to downgrade to make me not make as much money as I just made.
Yeah.
Mayweather's a good name. And the only other name I can think that's realistic that can make that type of money is Canelo. If not, keep finding niggas to fight. And the way you could, because you're bringing your own crowd. He has 27 million followers on Instagram, 20 million Twitter followers. You know how hard it is to get followers on Twitter? That nigga has his own movement. That nigga got his own following, because everybody that's niggas is always like, oh, Mike bought this. That nigga got a white follower. This nigga's a Disney kid. Then turned into a rapper and then did some other shit. And now he's a boxer. He has a great following. So if I'm Jake Paul, if you can't bring half of what I bring to the table, I'm not considering you. No disrespect to Andre Ward. What am I getting out of this if I'm Jake Paul? Okay, you're a real boxer. All right, cool. Nobody really knows you outside of boxing like that. And that's not disrespect to Andre Ward, because I'm an Andre Ward fan. But Jake Paul's brings something outside of boxing to boxing. He's been a star before he's a boxer. So when I'm fighting somebody, what am I going to bring to the table? Mike Tyson brings shit to the table. And the ball's in Jake Paul's court right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great point. I think a lot of people do overlook Jake Paul's other business ventures. I think Canelo and Mayweather would be a great fight for Jake Paul, but we'll see what happens. Okay. That is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs. Like when they doing them 2 for $5.